Hello, welcome to Blogging Theology. The Centre of Islamic Studies, SOAS, in London invites you to a dramatic multimedia presentation of Ahmed Paul Keeler's groundbreaking Mizan Thesis. Now, this Mizan Thesis presentation in London, as I say, is this Sunday, the 26th of November. What is this Mizan Thesis? Well, the Mizan Thesis challenges us to reevaluate our past. Whilst scientific progress, technological development, and economic growth are the criteria by which success has been judged, Ahmed Keeler proposes that the true yardstick for measuring success should be the balance, or the mizan, achieved between the spiritual, social, and material needs of humanity. A balance which makes it possible to live in harmony with nature. When the world is viewed from this perspective, a completely different picture of Islam and the West emerges. Now, the Mizan Thesis is the distillation of Ahmed Paul Keeler's book. Here's my copy, Rethinking Islam and the West, a new narrative for the age of crises. And the book was written during his visiting fellowship at the Centre of Islamic Studies, University of Cambridge. And the multimedia presentation was developed by a group of students from the university. Now, where's this happening? Well, as I say, at the SOAS, the School of Oriental African Studies, at the Brunei Gallery in London. And I'll link to the location and the tickets below, and Ahmed will explain a bit more about the tickets. So, Ahmed, could you just share a bit more about the presentation this Sunday?
Yes. It all happens after lockdown, because during lockdown I completed my the book, which was a life's journey, the story behind a book, which is basically the book which is a kind of commentary on rethinking Islam and the West. And I thought, really, it was launched in the spring of last year, in 2022. And I got the sort of sense that I'd rather sort of completed my stint. I presented the thesis, I had given the commentary and the background on it. And being in my 80s, you know, there's a terrific sort of yearning to kind of quietly disappear and you know, take care of the grandchildren and things like that. But what happened was something quite remarkable. Over the summer, in fact, it was during the late summer, it was in August, I started getting students visiting my home. Now I have to explain this, because during lockdown, my wife had become a formidable cook of cakes.
Oh, you're lucky man, lucky man.
We were producing these wonderful cakes. So I got these students who, particularly one of them, Yusuf Chowdhury, there's another, Asif Patel, these two postgraduates finishing their PhD students. And they would phone me up and say, can we come and see you? So, of course, it was wonderful, because it hadn't really happened to me. I'd been in Cambridge for 8 years. But other than, you know, writing my books and giving the odd lecture and an odd seminar, I hadn't really had too much relationship, which had continued with the students.
Right.
So this was quite exciting for me. And I wasn't sure, because they kept on coming back. They'd phone me out, could we bring some friends and the rest of it. I wasn't sure it was the cakes that I was giving them, or
having met you, I'm sure it wasn't just the cakes, if the cakes at all, actually. I'm sure there was other things at work.
Anyway, it was very exciting, because they really had read the books. They'd become excited by the ideas.
Yeah.
They were really questioning me, and they were coming up with wonderful comments. So that at the end of the summer, they proposed to me the idea of setting up a Mizan study circle.
Right.
So the students could gather around, and we could discuss it. So this was a big challenge for me, and I was trying to work out what we could do. So I think we got a sort of brainwave together, which was this: how do we extract from the book the essence of the book?
Right.
What are the central themes of this thesis? And then I brought into play my sort of dramatic past, which was that the most powerful way of putting something across is if you have an audience and you have an hour and a half in which to be able to do it.
Right.
So what we did is we started the process of creating a show, creating a dramatic presentation, because it's tremendously visual.
Right.
You know, it can be illustrated visually, the thesis. So we got working. We had a wonderful guy working on the slides who I'd been working with for many years. And we started working on putting together this hour and a half, because we wouldn't have more than that, in which to be able to put the thesis across.
Right.
And what was amazing about it was that it turned out to be an incredible teaching framework, because people we were looking at something and said, no, hold on a second, that I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense. That's good. Oh, that's brilliant. That works. But then you had to balance it so that you got the whole thing across properly. So we worked away at this, and we gave ourselves a date, which was November the 27th, which meant that we had 3 months, and we were only able to meet once a week for 2 or 3 hours, because to get a group of students together, I can assure you, is unbelievably difficult. Right? Everybody's got their work and their et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, we came together, we put the show together. November the 27th was the evening that we were going to have the show. We had a wonderful auditorium in Cambridge, which seats 160 people. And we structured the thing so that it would be the first half, then an interval. It was in the evening, and we decided that in the interval we had to serve a meal, so that people could talk and discuss and relax and put questions up on a website. And then the second half of the evening, I answered the questions. Yusuf Chowdhury selected the questions, and I answered them.
Right.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic. The atmosphere was electric. You could hear a pin drop. During the meal, everybody was discussing it. The questions were very interesting and illuminating, and the questions could have gone on all night.
I'm sure.
They stopped, and then it took an hour and a half for people to leave the auditorium. It was absolutely incredible. People just didn't want to leave. They were discussing it and talking about it. So it turned out to be a really wonderful impact. And of course, the students who were engaged in it, I got them to all write, their reflections on it. And the one thing that came out, which was really heartening, was that it gave them confidence in their heritage. It gave them confidence. And there's one thing we Muslims need today is that we need confidence. Yeah. We need that strength. So we were then invited to the Bradford Literature Festival. We went up there and had a wonderful presentation there. And of course, over the year, because it's a year now since we first presented it, it's been refined. We've continued to refine it. I mean, you can go on refining forever.
Yeah.
So it is a very unique experience. It's something that I've gained enormously amount from it. Because this thing about the elevator pitch.
What's that?
You've got to be able to put something succinctly.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Well,
yes.
And it's so difficult. It's going like when Winston Churchill wrote that long letter, and he said, "I'm so sorry, I've written this long letter. I didn't have time to write a short one." And it is this art of trying to put things succinctly.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I think that in this we have achieved very well the goal that we set ourselves in being able to put across the thesis in an hour and a half.
Right. So this is this Sunday, the 26th of November. Doors open at 2 p.m. in the Brunei Gallery Lecture Theatre. Of course, it's SOAS in London, very central location. And it's your multimedia presentation of your Mizan Thesis. As you say, a distillation, that's a good word, that. The quintessence of your book, Rethinking Islam in the West, a new narrative for the age of crises. Highly recommended, both the book. I haven't seen the multimedia presentation. Unfortunately, I won't be in London, but I've certainly read the book. So do you have, what else? I mean, apart from, will people have the opportunity to meet you at the venue?
Yes, yeah. I will be signing books at the end of the performance. Also, I'll give a very short piece, but mainly it's a kind of a performance, right, which I think people, if they haven't seen it, they really will enjoy it, and they'll find it very nourishing, both intellectually and aesthetically.
Now, there is a cost. The tickets are £10, or if you're a student, that's £7. But the proceeds are being donated, aren't they? Who are they going to?
Yeah, the proceeds are going to Islamic Relief for the Gaza Fund.
Right.
So we're obviously intensely aware of the time we're in, and this horrendous event that's taking place at the moment. So we're very much aware of that, and I think that this whole Mizan Thesis helps us to understand the insane things that are taking place in our world.
Good. Okay, well, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much. I will put a link to the venue, to the tickets in the description below. This Sunday, the 26th. Doors open at 2 p.m. It starts at 2:30 through to 4:30, transforming our understanding of Islam and the West, inshallah. So thank you very much, Ahmed. I do wish you well for that event. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much indeed.